In our 78th season, the Palm Beach Civic Association expands its communication outreach with a state-of-the-art television studio. We call it Studio 33480, the zip code for the beautiful island of Palm Beach. Sponsored by Finley Galleries, our goal is to bring you in-depth interviews with the most colorful and knowledgeable personalities on the island. And now, our host.
Welcome to Studio 33480. I'm Wendy Rutledge. This time, it's all about hurricane preparedness. Now, in prior weeks, we have brought in the Palm Beach Fire Rescue Department to talk all about personal safety before, during, and after a hurricane. This week, we've brought in the police department. Please welcome Lieutenant Paul Alber. Welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, so you are the guy in charge of all of this with regard to the police department, correct?
In a manner speaking, yes.
At least the public
Yes,
spokesperson.
I am.
Well, wonderful, and thanks for being here. So here's let's take this in chunks, before, during, after. Here's the hypothetical. There is a mandatory evacuation notice issued. The island is aware of it. This is a teeny tiny island that is already completely traffic plagued. So give us your best guidance for getting off this island safely. And my guess is the word quickly or early is going to probably be part of it. Yeah.
Early is the key word. So we have a lot of overlap with what you've probably already heard from the fire department. We want the residents to start preparing now. Start planning, have a plan ready to execute once an evacuation order is in place, which includes a safe place to go. And once the evacuation order is placed, we want them to leave early and actually evacuate. Being a barrier island, we have a unique set of circumstances and dangers once a hurricane makes landfall here. And if we have to focus on individual problems from people who didn't evacuate, it slows down our ability to serve the community as a whole to get the streets back open after the storm.
Have you found that there is always, everybody's like, well, let me just wait a couple more hours, or maybe tomorrow I'll get out of here, and then you've got the real traffic backup getting off the island?
That can be a problem, yes. It's best to act early, make a decision and go for it.
Okay,
Yep.
good. And in some cases that can be 3 days before.
Could be. If
Yeah.
it's a big storm, yes.
Yeah, okay. Of course, we've got a lot of new people here in town, so we want to kind of be very deliberate here in this discussion and as specific as we can be. But let's talk now about you're ready to go, you have a plan, you know where you're going to go. What happens, unfortunately, human nature being what it is, and that opportunistic criminal mind, what I'm trying to get at is if you leave your house in a rush and you haven't really buttoned down the hatches,
Right.
your home could be vulnerable. What advice do you give in terms of really being careful and having your security in place?
So one of the big problems with hurricanes is we're likely going to lose power to the whole island. And your home may or may not have a standby generator. There may or may not be phone service. So the alarm system may or may not work. And even if it works, the alarm monitoring service may or may not be able to reach us at the police department. So we want to make sure that your homes are protected by either impact-resistant glass or storm shutters. Everything is locked up, safe and secure. And we would prefer if all of our residents would leave a contact number or contact information for themselves and a representative for their property.
Oh, that's great. Well, that really gets us into this whole leaving contact information, which we're going to talk about next. Okay, so but clearly, just to wrap that up, you're in a hurry to get out of here, but not in such a hurry that you haven't locked every door, your shutters or whatever
Yes.
are in place, and you feel like, I'm buttoned up now. I'm
Yes.
ready to go. Okay. All right. So the big role that in my past year's experience, the police really plays an active part in is the reentry onto the island.
Right.
And first of all, talk to me in general. Why are you, as the police department, so deliberate about who gets on and when?
So there's two elements. Number one is general safety. There's a lot of power lines that come down. There's big branches, tree branches that come down. There's a lot of hazards on the island. So our first priority, as soon as the storm passes, is police, fire, and public works goes out and starts clearing the roadways and clearing those hazards. That's item number one. And then the other is security, because we have a lot of expensive homes with expensive items in those homes, with a limit, potentially no electricity, no alarms. We want to control who's making access to the island.
And beautiful stores. I mean,
Right.
a tree falls down on the Gucci window and the handbags are all there for the grabbing. I mean,
Yes.
looting is a concern?
Overall security is a concern, yes.
Overall security, right. Okay, so let's go through procedure. Again, some of the long-term residents here know the drill.
Yes.
We've been through, a pandemic, and we had light hurricane seasons. So we don't have a lot of dress rehearsals that people can recall here.
Right.
Let's walk through who gets in first, who gets in next, and what identification you need.
So historically, we've had a town ID card program, but that's been suspended the past couple of years because of COVID. This year, we're just asking the residents to call in, provide their name and contact information. And they can also apply for a hurricane pass. Once the island does open up, we'll have a dedicated line. You'll have a mirror hanger, and you can use a line dedicated for the pass holders. You'll still be required to have ID. You'll need to have some kind of government-issued ID that shows that you have a home on the island or your name is on the list.
Okay, so this is new, this placard, this hanger pass.
Couple of years.
Couple years. Okay, so between now, June 1st is the start of hurricane season.
Yes.
It would seem that everybody on the island should be making that phone call
Now.
Yes. Okay, and what kinds of information, again, are they going to be required to
There's
give?
an application. We'll send you the application either in the mail or online. You can fill it out. There's a couple documents that you'll have to provide, and we'll send you out a hanger.
What if you, the homeowner, are not here, but your house manager is here? Does the house manager qualify as someone who could get on quickly or
Yes.
early?
Yes.
And that is all sorted out when you make that phone call about the placard?
Yes.
Okay, all right. You have residents, homeowners, business owners, but then we have this whole huge group of day workers,
Right.
store employees, and so forth. When are they allowed on?
So it comes in stages. So, like I said before, as soon as the storm starts to subside, the town employees are going to get out and start clearing the roads. As soon as it's safe to do so, the homeowners will be allowed to come back on the island, followed quickly by the business owners, their employees, and then eventually the landscapers, and then business customers. And then at some point, when we start getting power back on the island, and there might be pockets where there's no power, we might just close down. We'll open the bridges up, but there might be limited access to certain parts of the island.
I just thought of something. With hurricanes come big waves.
Yes.
With big waves come surfers
Right.
who are going to want to get on this island. What do you say to them?
They're not coming on the island.
Not
No.
until things have settled down.
Right.
Okay. All right. And this is really an excellent warning to everybody, because we would hate to see somebody who didn't do their homework, didn't make that call, get the placard and so forth, be turned around, which you will do, will you
Yes,
not?
correct.
If they can't identify themselves?
If you don't have the identification and you don't have a legitimate reason to be on the island, we're not letting people on the island.
Right. It's just not
It's
a
not
safe
it's not
proce-
safe, right?
Right. Well, Lieutenant Alber, thank you so much for coming in here. Well, I learned a lot, and I know that some of us are out of practice, some of us are new. All of this is really great information.
It is. It's been a few years. We've had a lull, but it's just a matter of time. we're going to have another storm.
Yeah, and I think we're due.
It's getting to be that way.
Yeah. All right, thanks so much for
You're
coming
welcome.
up. That wraps up this time here in Studio 33480. As always, thank you so much for watching. And you can see this interview combined with some other hurricane information that we've amassed very shortly on our website. So thanks again for watching, and we will see you next time right here on Studio 33480.
Studio 33480 is brought to you by the Palm Beach Civic Association, our sponsor, Finley Galleries, and our viewers. We welcome your thoughts on how our programming can best serve our members and residents.